Hello, I wanted to do a quick video blog here because we've got a generator, we've got a storm coming in, and the last storm I needed to make a makeshift cover for my generator. I didn't want to get into that situation again. So there are some pretty good ideas out there. I would love to have gotten a gent tent. This guy is the only guy out there making any sort of real enclosure for a generator. But I've got this older model Makita 2400. It's a small guy. But I don't need very much. Just want to power my fridge. So what I've decided to do is take a furniture dolly, take off the felt from the sides so that it didn't start on fire. And what I will do is this. I'm going to take some of this wood here. This is a 1x2, and I'm gonna lay it down in front just to secure the generator so it doesn't slide back and forth. And I'm gonna put one on the other side back here. And my goal is to make a 2x4 frame that will screw right on to the front of the generator here. So here's what I've got. And if you're gonna try to do this, all you need is some 2x4s and those 1x2s. So I've made 4 24-inch 2x4s that will screw to the front like this of the furniture dolly. Then I've taken 2 more 2x4s and I cut them at a 22.5-degree angle, and they will mount to the front of the 2x4s here. I don't know if you can see that, like this. And the side, my ultimate goal is to make a hood that will screw on to the side and come down. So I mocked this up over here. Now I've got a miter box, makes it really easy. But really all you need is one of these roofing squares. And you can get your 25 or your 22.5-degree angle, which is what I used. Let me see if I can do this correctly for you guys. And you just put it on your 2x4 and you rotate it until this 20 goes to 22.5. And as you can see right there, 22.5, you come to the inside and you make a mark. Conversely, you take your pencil and you make a mark along the end. Now if you've got a miter box, you can simply take the front and move it to 22.5. Almost every miter box has a 22.5. Now, you can do a different angle if you want to, but that's the one I chose. So I've got this mocked up right here. And when you screw it in, there's another way you can use this roofing square. Just slide it along the top edge of the 2x4, and when you build your legs, you just make sure it's square, and it will go on square. So this is kind of what it's going to look like when it goes on the front. I'm resting it on the top there, but it won't do that. It's going to screw to the front. Okay. I suppose you can make it so it just rests on the top and you can just lift it up, take it off. But that's it. That's what it's going to do. So I'll do another video and see if I can edit them together so you can see what it looks like in the end. So here's a mock-up. It ended up going together so that it rests right on top of the furniture dolly. You can see all I did is take the 2x4s, 4 screws here, 2.5-inch, 2 screws here, 3-inch, 2 screws here, 3-inch. These are 18 inches wide. The top pieces, you need 2 2x4s cut to 18 inches wide, and you need 4 3-inch screws for each side. So you need 16 3-inch screws. You need 4 2.5-inch screws for each one of these, so you need 16 of those. And that's it. So now what I'm going to do is make the end pieces, make my hood or my roof, so to speak. So you can do this different ways at this point. You can probably just take a tarp and wrap it around and be fine. What I want to do is I want to make a flap on the front, and I'm going to use this to frame it out, and just put a screw or a latch or figure something out to hold it on so I can lift it up and access the front cover. And I want to make a small overhang on the left and right side so air can go in, and also a significant enough hood so that water still doesn't go underneath. So I'll have that done in a second and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so it's done. I put these on the front, also on the back, and the cover is over here. I used a little bit of duct tape on it just to cover up the corners so they didn't catch the wind, but otherwise I used 1/4-inch staples and some screws and 2x4s and 1x2s, and that's it. So hopefully I can position this camera so that you can see it going on. Not the easiest thing in the world, but it's better than nothing. I'm gonna get seasick from this video. Alright, let's try this. Maybe that'll work. Alright. But the back, I can reach in, I can still hit the off switch, I can still get to the oil, there's still ventilation here, still ventilation on the sides, still ventilation in the front, there's a spot where I can run my electrical cords out. Not sure if you can see that here. And get to the front. Now if I have time, or I feel like it, I might replace the furniture wheel, the furniture dolly wheels on the bottom with some larger rubber ones so it rolls around a little easier. Something with a brake so I could turn the brake on. And after trying to lift it up, I'm going to put some handles on the top. There's some supports under here. These are 2x4s. These are my 18-inch 2x4s. I'll put a handle here and a handle here, and then I can just lift it up and take it off. So, not bad. Let's see, I used 4 2x4s. They were 4 at 24 inches, 2 at 18 inches. The 2 at 18 inches made the roof. 2 at 30 inches on the top. The 2 at 30 inches on the top each have a 22.5 inch or 22.5 degree cut on them, so I can make the side roofing there. That I just used 1x2s on everything else. You can see I made the door out of 1x2s, had a couple of old hinges, and that's it. With the furniture dolly, again 1x2s. They fit on the inside on all 4 corners, just so that when it slips down, it fits in. And I can also grab it and roll it around from the top. So I thought this was going to take only a couple hours, and I've been at it for about 6 hours. So I would say that's about as long as it takes to do it. But I had to dream it up as I was doing it. So hope you enjoy. Alright, I made a couple of modifications to the cover, put some handles on the top, but we're going to see just how easy this is to put it on now. So here's the cover. I added these handles so I could lift it off easily. It's not as heavy as it felt without handles, and I built it without plywood sides so that it would keep the weight down also. I want to say it's probably around 40 pounds, so not too bad. That's it. Let's see if I can start it with the top on. Okay, so not too bad. I didn't have the cover all the way down when I started, so I just needed to readjust it. That caused me to have to restart it after the initial pull. But you can see here, here's my muffler. I don't know if it's coming through or not on the video. So I wanted to keep it a little bit open and not cover it, which is why that's not covered. And the exhaust is coming out of here, and it's hitting the side of this. Now I don't think it'll be an issue, but I bought a piece of 22 gauge aluminum here, and I'm going to take this and place it, screw it in right to the side as a deflector, just in case, so the tarp doesn't get too hot. And I may cut this thing in half and put the other half on the alternator side, because the alternator vents are here coming out the other side, and I don't know if that'll get hot or not, but it's better safe than sorry. So that's an update. I also used some of this 3M actual duct worked tape. I don't know if it's going to stick better than the cloth style duct tape. We'll find out in the storm. But it's worth a shot. Okay, so I added the aluminum. It was pretty easy. Cut it in half. Put it on here. There'll be some pictures at the end of the video now that I have figured out how to do it. So let's see how she runs. Going right onto the aluminum. Great. Perfect. alternator blowing mostly right here. So it may not stop all the heat, but the center of the heat is all hitting right here. So if there's any, I'll be able to reach in, shut this off. Alright, so you can see the aluminum on that side too, and the generator here, the alternator. So I think that was successful. Any hot exhaust that may be going up against the tarp will now be deflected by the aluminum. The other side, the alternator side, the exhaust is going more towards the center, but I would say about 90% of it's being deflected by the aluminum. If I get under there and notice that the tarp is getting hot, then I'll reposition the aluminum. But as it stands now, that was extra. I don't even think it was necessary. So, all right, well, that's enough of generator prep. Now, I need to actually get the house ready for this storm.